The KRYLL Empire had conquered 47 star systems through military might and tactical brilliance. Their war general Thexvar had negotiated surrender terms with species across 3 galactic sectors. He had broken the will of planetary presidents, corporate oligarchs, and military commanders without ever raising his voice. Then he met Mrs. Patricia Henderson. The negotiation chamber on Station Kepler was designed to intimidate. 30-foot ceilings, holographic displays showing KRYLL military superiority, atmospheric controls that could make opponents uncomfortable. Thexvar had used this room to secure favorable terms from the Vexenar Collective just last cycle. Mrs. Henderson walked in wearing a cardigan with embroidered butterflies, carrying a thermos of tea and a tote bag that said, "Teaching is my superpower." "Oh my," she said, looking around. "This is quite the room. A bit dark though, isn't it? Do you mind if I adjust the lighting? I find harsh shadows make productive conversation so difficult." Before Thexvar could object, she'd already found the controls and brightened the room to what she called a more cheerful level. The intimidating atmosphere evaporated instantly. "Now then," Mrs. Henderson said, settling into her chair and pouring tea into a mug with cartoon dinosaurs on it. "I understand you want to discuss territorial concessions in the Arcturus region?" Thexvar clicked his mandibles, the KRYLL equivalent of a confident smile. "This would be easy. Indeed. My fleet currently controls 6 human colonies. You will withdraw all claims to." "I'm going to stop you right there, General." Mrs. Henderson's voice hadn't changed, still warm, still friendly, but something in it made Thexvar's next word die in his throat. "We're not starting with demands. We're going to start with a conversation about feelings." "Feelings?" Thexvar's translator struggled with his confusion. "Yes, feelings. You see, I taught kindergarten for 32 years before I joined the diplomatic corps. Do you know what kindergarten teachers do, General? Educate juveniles. We manage 25 tiny humans, each with their own wants, needs, and complete certainty that they're the center of the universe. We do this for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, while maintaining everyone's safety, teaching them to read, and keeping them from putting things in their noses." She smiled. "You commanded armies. I commanded a classroom of 5-year-olds during sugar rushes. We both know which is harder." Thexvar felt oddly defensive. "My military campaigns require excellent strategies, I'm sure," Mrs. Henderson agreed. "Now, let's talk about why you really invaded those colonies. And don't say resources or strategic positioning. I've heard every excuse from he started it to, but I really wanted to. You can't shock me, General. What's really going on?" 3 hours later, Galactic Council observers monitoring the negotiation were in a state of collective disbelief. "She's doing it again," Ambassador Vexnor whispered. "She's actually doing it again." On the screen, War General Thexvar, conqueror of 47 systems, was explaining in detail why the KRYLL Empire felt threatened by human expansion, how their own population pressures created aggressive foreign policy, and why he personally found the burden of constant conquest exhausting. Mrs. Henderson nodded sympathetically, occasionally saying things like, "That must be very difficult for you, and I can see why you'd feel that way." "The human doesn't negotiate," a Seftari observer noted with something like awe. "She therapizes." "It's worse than that," Vexnor replied. "She's treating him like a misbehaving child. And it's working." Indeed, Thexvar was now discussing his fear that other species didn't respect the KRYLL, that they were seen as just brutes, and how that perception made him feel compelled to prove his empire's sophistication through aggressive expansion. "But do you see how that creates a cycle?" Mrs. Henderson asked gently. "You're afraid people see you as aggressive, so you act aggressively, which makes them see you as aggressive. Does that make sense?" Thexvar sat back, all 4 arms hanging loosely, a KRYLL posture of complete deflation. Yes, he admitted. Yes, I see that. Good. Now, let's talk about what you actually need versus what you think you need. I find it helpful to make a list. By the end of the session, Thexvar had agreed to withdraw from all 6 colonies. Establish cultural exchange programs instead of military occupations. Attend regular diplomatic sessions to work through the KRYLL Empire's expansion feelings. Accept human aid in developing sustainable resource management. He left the negotiation chamber looking dazed. Mrs. Henderson packed up her thermos and tote bag, humming cheerfully. Ambassador Vexnor intercepted her in the corridor. Mrs. Henderson, I must know. What is your secret? How do you break down the most hardened military commanders? Mrs. Henderson smiled. Oh, it's quite simple, Ambassador. You see, there's no difference between a warmongering general and a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum because they don't want to share the blocks. Both are just scared, overwhelmed, and acting out because they don't have better tools. She patted Vexnor's arm. Kindergarten teachers spend decades learning to see past the behavior to the need underneath. We develop infinite patience. We master the art of redirecting aggression into cooperation. And most importantly, we perfect the voice. The voice? The one that says, I see you, I'm not angry, but we are going to fix this behavior right now. It works on everyone from 5-year-olds to 5-star generals. She checked her schedule. Now, I have 3 more warlords to meet with this week. Do you know if any of them have dietary restrictions? I'm bringing cookies to the next session. As she walked away, Vexnor pulled up the Galactic Diplomatic Corps records. Every major treaty negotiated in the past 5 years, every peace agreement, every resolution to impossible conflicts, all had one thing in common. A human kindergarten teacher. The galaxy's most dangerous warriors, it turned out, had met their match. Not in soldiers, but in people who'd spent careers convincing tiny humans that sharing is important and hitting is not an acceptable problem-solving strategy. The universe would never be the same.